Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. Today's Twitter comment is brought to you by one of my friends, Yatharth. So, consciously going with the flow is also about unconsciously feeling safe to do so. Question mark right there. And it's really interesting because I think that there's a really, really cool point to this. But I'm not sure about the phrasing or how this works or what's really involved. This unconscious or subconscious. People are talking about different words. Like, is this your subconscious? Is this your id, your ego, your superego, and everything? And there's definitely a point here. And I think people are getting bogged down in psychological models and trying to come up with stuff. So I was thinking about this as I was changing the oil on the motorcycle, because everything, motorcycle related is spiritual in some sense, right? I think that he's right. Okay, consciously choosing to go with the flow, to accept the universe, to go with it, requires a feeling that it is safe to do so, that it is a confidence that it will work out, a acceptance that what appears to not work out isn't really all that bad, or something like that, right? But I don't think it's an unconscious feeling of safety. I do think you can program your mind, the mind-brain aspect of your experience, to feel eager, excited, forward-looking about going with the flow. And that's a really big one, okay? There's a lot of resistance in a lot of people's minds about, going with the flow. It's like, something's happening to you instead of something happening with you or you being involved or whatever your interpretation is, dual or non-dualistic. So I'm trying to figure out how to describe this unconscious safety feeling. And wow, there's not a lot of universal phrasing for this. I can talk about things that make you feel unsafe, like people talking about, losing your job, being a threat to your life, your livelihood, losing your friends, social judgment, being canceled, everything that the wacko nut jobs are doing out there in media land and politics land with the current American government regime thing, and if you don't toe the line, then they will get you. That's a lot of fear in there. You can't go with the flow when going with the flow means someone's going to start screaming at your windows and getting you fired from your job. Ugh. So where do you get your safety feeling? Where do you get your sense of okayness, that it's okay to do this? And that, from an enlightenment perspective, that's really easy. It's just it is. Everything's okay, regardless. No matter what happens, everything is okay. If you're not there, if you're not on this side of the fence yet, then the ideal situation is to train yourself, train your mind to accept and be positive and feel safe about these unplanned events. The going with the flow generally means being able to accept surprises. So going with the flow, if you're fully involved in right action, often means that there are no surprises because everything just sort of works out, right? But especially at the beginning, there's a lot of surprises. There's a lot of going with the flow, letting the universe work that involves surprises, shocks, unexpected things. So what you want to do is you want to thank the universe, thank yourself, pump yourself up, get excited about surprises. I think that is the idea with the mind here. And once again, I'm dealing with this. I'm trying to deal with the people saying that there's a subconscious or an unconscious or a collective subconscious or id, superego, and we're really not. We're working with the mind in all of its aspects here. So the idea is to get the mind comfortable with feeling safe about surprises. I think that is a really good first step. When you run into a surprise, an unexpected event, whatever it is, stop, take a moment, and wow, just be like, wow, that's cool. Okay, wow, that's cool. Wow, that was unexpected, and it brings flavor to life. That will give your mind the training to be more positive or seeking or accepting of these things. Because the mind, again, especially if you're not in that okay space, the enlightenment space, your mind has a lot of narrative response, control, self-talk. Self-talk can be positive instead of negative. This is the what they call the path through positive psychology. And all of that is wonderful. All the tools are really wonderful, and they're great, and they will help you if you want to go into enlightenment land. If you're not, if you're just looking for peak experiences and states of flow and stuff, this is where you need to be. This is your basic final toolkit anyway. So the mind will respond to what you give it and what you tell it you want, and what you really tell it you want. Not what you say you want, but what you tell it, what you demonstrate that you want. So consciously going with the flow is very much about having your mind feel that it is safe to do so, that it is pleasant to do so, that it is desirable to do so. Absolutely. Don't get hung up on the subconscious, unconscious, id, superego, what aspect of mind. Work on practical exercises, positive reinforcement, positive responses. When there's a surprise, oops, wow, be happy. Get a happy response, get a positive response, get an energetic response. Okay, it doesn't always have to be super emotionally positive, negative. It could be neutral and just, but an admiration response, a gratefulness response. Those things will definitely help you with that idea of going with flow, make it more comfortable. And remember, you create your own reality to a large extent. So if you get that positive aspect in, then going with the flow will become a more positive experience. Stay sideways.